Happy 17th of May. Wait a minute. So this video is kinda special to me, since this week was the 17th of May, which, for those who don't know, is Norway's National Independence Day, which means I gotta celebrate it with a video, as usual. However, since my videos usually come out on a weekend, I guess it'll be a late celebration. So today I'll be covering one of my favorite folk tales from Norway, Ashlad and his Good Helpers. And no, I'm not talking about the original book version. I'm gonna talk about the 1961 short film adaptation of the story. Why that one? Well, the movie itself has become a inside joke between me and my friend Fee to reference the movie whenever we can. And you'll see why. So without any more hesitation, let us begin. Also, if I do sound weird in this video, I'm sick, so yay. So, I'm gonna use the Norwegian version of the movie for the review, but there is an English version that exists out there. Also, the movie quality that'll be used in this video is garbage, since it's the only thing I could find. Anyways, we start with the title card in front of a house sign saying P.C.R. Asbjørnsen. And this is actually Peter Kristen Asbjørnsen, the original author of the story, who died 70 years before the movie came out, which is kind of sweet to see, and I just learned that, which made me appreciate the movie even more. Then we cut to what I would assume is Asbjørnsen in the movie, who gets visited by his grandkids. Peter asks why they aren't in bed, but they ask him to tell him a small story so they can go back to bed. He tells him a story about a king who wants a ship that can go as fast in water as it can in land and even air. He also says that the person who succeeds in doing this gets the king's daughter and half the kingdom. Everyone tried and failed to make a ship, and then we cut to the story of Ashlad. From now on, I'll be calling him Asklad or Askeladden from now on to just, make it easier for me, because it's more natural for me to say Askeladden instead of like Ashlad. Askeladden asks if he can get some lunch, but his mother refuses since all he does is sit around at the fireplace, hence his name. Askeladden says that maybe he'll be the one who gets the king's daughter and half the kingdom, before his two brothers laugh at that comment, and they start roasting his brother. But this doesn't stop Askeladden from dreaming, so he decides to go into the forest and try and achieve his goal. A bunch of troll type of trees are staring at him before Askeladden stumbles across a green man with white hair just relaxing in the forest. He feels sorry for him, so he goes and asks the green man if everything is okay. He says everything is going fine, and asks Askeladden what he's going to do, and he explains he wants to build a ship so he can get the princess and half the kingdom. Trust me, this goal will be established a lot throughout the 15-minute film. Yes, this movie is 15 minutes long. So the green man says it's a better answer than the last two, who said cutting trees, and that's what it was. And then he asks what's in the bag, and Askeladden said he was able to sneak with him some lunch. The green man says that it's a better answer than what the last two said, and they said it was mud. The green man asks if he can get lunch in exchange for helping Askeladden. For as sketchy as it sounds, Askeladden immediately agrees. The green man notes how nice Askeladden is and tells him what to do. And after sleeping on the tree the next day, Askeladden wakes up to the green man being finished with the ship. And look at that beauty! The green man says to bring everyone he sees with him, and Askeladden says he'll note that before saying goodbye to the green man, and flies the ship. Askeladden flies for a bit before seeing a man, and he lands the ship to check on him. The man is munching on some premium rock, and Askeladden is asking how it's going. The man explains that he is so hungry all the time, that his hunger is never stopped, so that's why he's eating rocks. Askeladden asks if he want to come aboard, and he agrees, and the two fly off. A bit later, the two of them see another man, and they land down. The man has a lot of shackles on his ankle. Askeladden how it's going for him. The man explains that he can't walk on both legs, because if he did, he would make it to the world's end in less than 5 minutes. Remember, this was the time before the moon landing. So Askeladden asks if he want to join them on the ship, and he agrees. And now the three of them are flying off. A bit more later, the flyer, yes, I'll be calling them by their character traits, notes that he sees another person on the beach. So they go and check it out. Askeladden asks how it's going, and The new man explains that he has 7 summers and 15 winters inside of him, and if he unleashes all of them, it could cause chaos in the world. Askeladden and his crew feel bad for him, so he asks if he wants to join them, and he agrees. Now the 4 of them sail across the kingdom together. They arrive to the kingdom where the king, the queen, and the princess, along with the kingdom, is waiting. Askeladden says, "Here's your ship, so now I've won the daughter." The king is skeptical, so he decides to test the boy. He says he has a ton of meat that should have been thrown out, so he asks the boy to eat it all until tomorrow. Askeladden agrees and asks if he can borrow one of his helpers. The king agrees, and Askeladden brings the rock muncher. So when the next day arrives, all the meat is gone, as the king asked, thanks to the rock muncher. Askeladden asks if he's won now, but the king, being the sore loser he is, asks Askeladden to do another test. This time he wants Askeladden to bring tea water from the end of the world in 2 minutes. Askeladden agrees, but asks if he can bring another helper. The king agrees, and Askeladden asks the flyer to help him out. The flyer agrees and unshackles himself and walks on the air and gets the tea water in less than 2 minutes, as asked. Askeladden asks if he has won the daughter now, but the king wants him to do one more test. He asks Askeladden to sit in a sauna with 3,000 logs of burning wood, and if he survives until the next morning, he shall win the princess. Askeladden asks if he can bring one of his helpers, and the king tells him to bring everyone. So Askeladden and all his helpers go inside the sauna, and they sit and get locked out. Askeladden asks the season guy to release 6 winters, so the room becomes a nice summer weather, but it was too many winters, so Askeladden asks to release a couple of summers. They decide to rest for the next day, and the next day they see the king arriving. So Askeladden asks the season guy to release a winter when the king opens the door. The king asks to open the door so he can see their corpses, but as he opens up, a winter storm shoots out and hits the king. Askeladden asks again if he gets the princess now, and the king finally agrees. The movie ends with us returning to Asbjørnsen, and basically adds a bunch of crazy stuff at the end, and one of the kids asks if it was true, and Asbjørnsen replies with as true as the moon being as flat as the cheese. And then Asbjørn says snipp snapp snute så er eventyret ute, which is a popular phrase when ending a story in Norwegian folk tales. Overall, yeah, still a classic. I'm glad that even after 62 years, this movie has been holding up in quality. Also, fun fact, in the original story there was actually 6 helpers, but for this short film it was scrapped for obvious reasons. This is an adaptation meant for a younger audience. But anyways, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want more of these type of reviews where I talk about movies or shows I grew up with. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys, well, next time. Bye bye.